November 12, 2018. At 1:17 a.m., the last train departed Brookdale Station. Within minutes, the underground platforms were completely empty. Station lights dimmed to overnight mode. Maintenance gates were locked. And the Transit Control Center switched the station cameras to low-traffic monitoring. But at 1:43 a.m., something unusual appeared on one of the surveillance feeds. A platform. A platform that wasn't supposed to exist. Camera T14, positioned deep inside the tunnel leading away from Brookdale Station, suddenly showed a fully lit subway platform further down the track. According to city records, that platform had been sealed more than 10 years earlier. And no train had stopped there since 2007. Background location: Brookdale Station sits beneath a busy section of the city's downtown district. During the day, thousands of commuters move through the station. Trains arrive every few minutes. Announcements echo through the tunnels. But after midnight, the system becomes quiet. Only occasional maintenance crews remain underground. The subway tunnels extend for several kilometers beyond the station. And hidden within those tunnels is a structure that most commuters never knew existed. Platform C, originally built during the early expansion of the subway network, Platform C was intended to serve an additional rail line. But the line was never completed. The platform was closed shortly after construction. In 2007, the city officially sealed the area. Concrete barriers were installed. Access stairwells were blocked. And the platform was removed from the public transit maps. For over a decade, no trains stopped there. And according to maintenance records, no one had entered the platform since it was sealed. Characters introduced: Marcus Hale, faceless, smooth, blurry white plastic mannequin face with realistic adult male proportions, wearing dark blue night security uniform with security badge, holding surveillance tablet and industrial flashlight. Marcus works overnight security inside the Central Transit Control Center, monitoring camera feeds across multiple subway stations. His job is to watch for trespassers, equipment failures, and unusual activity in the tunnels. Most nights, nothing happens. Just empty platforms and passing trains. Working with the maintenance department is Daniel Ortiz, faceless, smooth, blurry white plastic mannequin face with realistic adult male proportions, wearing dark gray maintenance technician jacket with reflective stripes, carrying diagnostic tablet. Daniel is responsible for inspecting electrical systems inside the subway tunnels. On the night of November 12, Daniel was performing routine diagnostics near Brookdale Station. Neither of them expected to see anything unusual that night. But shortly after 1:40 a.m., Marcus noticed something on one of the tunnel cameras. Something that should not have been there. First strange event: the alert appeared quietly on Marcus's surveillance console. Camera T14 had detected movement. The camera was positioned deep inside the outbound tunnel beyond Brookdale Station. Normally, this camera shows nothing but dark rail tracks and tunnel walls. Marcus opened the live feed. At first, the image looked distorted. The tunnel lights seemed brighter than usual. He leaned closer to the screen. Because further down the tunnel, something else was visible. A subway platform. Bright overhead lights. Tile walls. And the edge of a passenger platform extending alongside the track. Marcus paused the feed. Then replayed the recording. The platform remained visible. Clear. Fully lit. But according to the transit system blueprint, that section of the tunnel should have been nothing but sealed concrete. Marcus checked the station map again. There was no active platform beyond Brookdale Station. Yet the camera clearly showed one. And something else caught his attention. At the far end of the platform, a figure appeared to be standing near the wall. Completely still. Marcus looked at the time stamp again. 1:43 a.m. No train scheduled. No maintenance crews in that section of the tunnel. Which meant the person on that platform shouldn't have been there. And according to the transit records, The platform itself shouldn't have existed anymore. At 1:46 a.m., Marcus Hale began reviewing the surveillance system logs for camera T14. The camera was mounted on a steel bracket along the tunnel wall roughly 320 meters beyond Brookdale Station. Its purpose was simple. Monitor the outbound rail tunnel for trespassers or maintenance hazards. Normally, the camera showed only three things: rail tracks, concrete tunnel walls, and darkness stretching further down the line. But the current feed was different. The tunnel no longer looked empty. Instead, the camera clearly showed a subway platform illuminated by overhead lights. Marcus adjusted the image brightness and contrast. The platform remained visible. Tile walls. Support pillars. A faded station sign partially visible on the far wall. And the silhouette of a person standing near the edge of the platform. Completely motionless. Marcus checked the system overlay map again. Camera T14 faced directly toward the section of tunnel where Platform C had once existed. But according to the city engineering reports, the platform had been permanently sealed with concrete barriers in 2007. There should have been solid wall where the platform now appeared. Transit system records. Marcus accessed the archived construction diagram stored in the transit network database. The original layout from the early 1990s confirmed the existence of Platform C. The platform had been built during an expansion project intended to connect a new subway line to Brookdale Station. But the project was cancelled halfway through development. The partially constructed platform was never opened to the public. In 2007, engineers sealed the structure to prevent trespassing. Construction crews installed concrete tunnel barricades, metal reinforcement beams, electrical disconnections. After the sealing operation, the platform was removed from official system maps. Since then, every maintenance inspection report listed the section as structurally inaccessible. Which meant there should have been no possible way for a camera to see the platform anymore. Yet camera T14 clearly showed it. Fully illuminated. Contacting maintenance, Marcus immediately contacted the overnight tunnel maintenance team. Daniel Ortiz answered the call from the service rail corridor near Brookdale Station. Marcus explained what he was seeing. Daniel initially assumed it was a camera malfunction. Tunnel cameras occasionally experienced signal distortion due to electrical interference from train power lines. Marcus sent Daniel a screenshot of the feed. Several seconds passed before Daniel responded. When he finally spoke, his voice sounded confused. Daniel confirmed something important. The tunnel section beyond Brookdale Station had no electrical supply connected to it. All lighting circuits inside the sealed platform had been permanently disconnected more than 10 years earlier. Even if the platform somehow became visible again, there should have been no power available to illuminate it. Yet the camera feed clearly showed bright overhead station lights. Evidence review. Marcus began replaying the recording from earlier in the night. At 1:38 a.m., the tunnel looked normal. Dark. Empty. Exactly as expected. But at 1:41 a.m., something changed. The camera image briefly flickered. Static lines crossed the screen. For less than 2 seconds the image distorted. Then the feed stabilized again. When the distortion cleared, the platform appeared. Exactly where the sealed tunnel wall should have been. Marcus paused the footage. Zoomed in. And carefully advanced the recording frame by frame. The figure on the platform was still there. Standing near one of the pillars. Facing toward the track. But the figure had not moved. Not even slightly. For nearly 6 minutes. Tunnel inspection decision. At 2:02 a.m., the transit control supervisor authorized a physical inspection. Daniel Ortiz was already inside the maintenance tunnel corridor. His task was simple. Walk the rail access path toward the sealed section and confirm the status of the concrete barrier. Marcus switched the surveillance monitors to follow Daniel's position. Camera T09 showed Daniel entering the outbound tunnel beyond Brookdale Station. The maintenance corridor lighting illuminated the tracks ahead. The sealed section should have been less than 200 meters further down the tunnel. Marcus watched carefully. Because something unusual happened as Daniel moved deeper into the tunnel. The platform remained visible on camera T14. But Daniel had not reached the sealed barrier yet. Which meant something strange about the camera perspective was becoming clear. From Daniel's location, the platform should not have been visible at all. The tunnel walk. Daniel walked slowly along the narrow maintenance path beside the rails. His diagnostic tablet displayed the tunnel electrical grid. Every lighting circuit in the sealed section still showed offline. Marcus kept one monitor on the camera feed. Another on Daniel's body-mounted inspection camera. Both feeds were synchronized. But the two images showed completely different scenes. Daniel's camera showed a dark tunnel wall ahead. No platform. No station lights. Nothing but concrete and steel. But camera T14 still showed the platform clearly. Marcus stared at the two screens. The contradiction was impossible. One camera showed a sealed wall. The other showed a fully illuminated subway platform. Both cameras were positioned in the same section of tunnel. The second strange event at 2:11 a.m., Daniel stopped walking. His inspection camera tilted slightly upward. He had reached the sealed barrier. The concrete wall looked exactly as expected. Reinforced steel supports. Construction markings. Dust accumulated across the barrier surface. No openings. No visible access points. Marcus asked Daniel to confirm the barrier condition. Daniel placed his hand on the concrete wall. And responded through the radio. The platform is definitely sealed. Marcus looked back at camera T14. The platform was still there. Still fully lit. And the figure standing on it had not moved. Marcus zoomed the camera again. Something new became visible. The figure appeared to be closer to the platform edge now. Marcus rewound the footage several seconds. Then played it again. The movement was subtle. Almost unnoticeable. But the figure had shifted its position. Daniel had just confirmed that the platform did not physically exist. Yet the camera showed someone standing on it. And slowly moving toward the track. Technical anomaly. Marcus checked the system logs again. The surveillance software reported something unusual. Camera T14 was not receiving its signal from the usual relay node. Instead, the feed was being routed through an inactive backup circuit. A circuit that had not been used since the platform was sealed years earlier. The system timestamp also appeared incorrect. Instead of the current time, the camera overlay showed 1:43 a.m. repeating repeatedly across several frames. As if the recording time had become locked. Marcus leaned closer to the screen. Because something else had changed. The platform lights flickered once. Then dimmed slightly. And the figure on the platform moved again. This time more clearly. It stepped closer to the track edge. Marcus immediately radioed Daniel. He asked him to step away from the sealed wall. Daniel asked why. Marcus hesitated. Then answered. Because according to the camera, someone was standing directly on the other side of that wall. The final moments of the feed at 2:14 a.m., Marcus Hale continued watching the surveillance feed from camera T14. The image still showed the sealed platform. The overhead lights flickered slightly above the tiled walls. And the figure remained standing near the edge of the platform. But something had changed. The figure was no longer completely still. It had moved closer to the track. Marcus replayed the footage again. Frame by frame. The movement was subtle. Almost unnatural. The figure did not appear to walk normally. Instead, its position seemed to shift between frames. as if it had moved while the camera wasn't recording. Marcus checked the other tunnel cameras. None of them showed anything unusual. Only camera T-14 displayed the platform. And the figure. Daniel steps away from the barrier. Meanwhile, Daniel Ortiz stood inside the tunnel beside the sealed concrete wall. His inspection camera showed the reinforced barrier exactly as the engineering records described it. Solid concrete. Steel supports. No openings. Marcus told Daniel to step away from the barrier. Daniel took several steps backward along the maintenance path. From Daniel's position, the tunnel looked completely normal. Dark rails. Concrete walls. No lights. No platform. But inside the control center, the surveillance feed showed something else entirely. Marcus zoomed the camera closer. The figure on the platform now stood directly at the edge of the track. Facing toward the tunnel. Facing toward the camera. The platform lights changed at 2:16 a.m., the platform lights flickered again. This time the brightness dropped noticeably. The station lights dimmed as if the electrical power inside the platform was failing. The figure remained standing there. Still motionless. Marcus noticed something strange about the lighting. The shadows cast across the platform tiles looked wrong. They stretched in directions that didn't match the overhead lights. As if the platform lighting was coming from somewhere else entirely. Then the camera image briefly distorted again. Static lines crossed the screen. The platform lights flickered. And for a moment the entire image seemed unstable. The last recorded movement when the video stabilized again. The figure was gone. Marcus leaned closer to the screen. The platform was still there. But the person standing on it had disappeared. Marcus rewound the footage again. He watched the final 30 seconds several times. At 2:16 and 42 seconds a.m., the figure was still visible. Standing at the platform edge. At 2:16 and 44 seconds a.m., the screen flickered. And when the image returned, the figure was gone. No walking movement. No shadow leaving the frame. It had simply disappeared. The platform disappears 2 minutes later, another distortion passed through the camera feed. The tunnel image flickered again. For several seconds the screen showed heavy interference. Then suddenly, the platform was gone. The camera returned to its normal view. Just a dark tunnel wall where